much. As you said, the Sun Belt is making its Thursday night debut as we welcome you into the Rocket Money Kickoff, one of the great sports cities in America. Downtown Atlanta, the legendary Hank Aaron, at one time the home run king, inside Center Park Stadium. Tonight, a big one for both Georgia State and South Alabama, because at this point of the season, you can't afford another loss if you want to make it to postseason. And with that, welcome in Tom Luganbill, Matt Berry. Thursday night is back, so is week 9 of the college football season, notably industry night here. Lugs, I mentioned it there. Well, why did I say postseason? Because both of these teams come in at 1-6.
Yeah.
You lose one more, you cannot make it to a bowl game. So if one of these teams is going to go on a run, it has to start tonight.
You know, this is one of those games. It's how much do you love football, guys?
Yeah.
If you want to keep playing and you have an opportunity to turn this thing around, this is it. Tonight, this gives us an opportunity to keep moving forward, have a chance to go bowling in the postseason, and just right the ship. It's been a tough 8 weeks for both of these teams.
And both of these teams have been close in a lot of games. A couple of one-score losses. They said they put 4 quarters together. Maybe they can get it done. And to do that, we're going to feature both quarterbacks and their number 1 receiver, starting with South Alabama, Bishop Davenport. The kid can play football. To do that, he's going to have to find Devin Voisin. These two are dangerous.
Well, he's going to have to, and he's going to have to do it and create explosives at the same time. He was incredibly efficient a week ago in their 1-point loss to Arkansas State, going 18 for 23, but for only 118 yards. No explosive plays. Also, expect him to make more plays on the ground with his feet tonight. He's a dangerous runner. And then Devin Voisin, as you mentioned, one of the top skill performers in the Sun Belt, not just as a receiver, but also as a return man. They got to get the ball downfield to Voisin.
And that was your player spotlight, brought to you by Rocket Money. On the other side of it, Georgia State brings a really good quarterback, making his 2nd career start. He, too, has a star receiver. Cameron Brown gives Georgia State kind of an element that he didn't stand in the pocket. He can get out and about and cause problems for defenses.
Well, that's what he's going to do tonight for South Alabama's defense. He's going to create headaches with his legs. He was really productive a week ago on the road. They just came up short in the 4th quarter. He completed 76% of his passes, but it was his legs that were the difference. Creating when the initial play breaks down, being utilized on designed runs, forcing South Alabama to have to defend every nook and cranny of the field. And then his partner, Ted Hurst, the wideout, he can flat go. He's the guy that this offense has to rely on for explosive plays and points. Expect him to be targeted an awful lot.
Coaching staff said he had offers to move on, but he stayed put, and he's been rewarding them with solid play throughout the season. And Harry Lyles, these players have been honest about it throughout the week. It has not been good, and it is time to finally close a game out tonight.
Yeah, Matt, both of these teams are 1-6. They're both desperate for a win, and they know that, and they're honest about what they are as teams. When I spoke with Georgia State quarterback Cam Brown, he told me that this is a team that plays hard, but they have trouble finishing drives off in the second half. They know that they're going to have to be better tonight and put together a full game if they're going to come out with a win tonight. For South Alabama, 7th-year wide receiver Devin Voisin and quarterback Bishop Davenport told me that penalties have been the Achilles heel for the Jaguars and that they will have to get out of their own way in order to win tonight.
You saw Major Applewhite there. He told us throughout the week, he goes, guys, I so desperately want my team to feel what it's like to win again. That starts tonight as kickoff is next from Atlanta. This has been the Rocket Money Kickoff. We are back to ESPN College Football Prime Time, presented by Liberty Mutual. You know, inside this stadium, 1996 Summer Olympics, making Georgia State and USC is the only teams in the country to play their home football games where the Olympics were held. Little Matt stat for you to get started. Del McGee, second-year head coach at Georgia State, wants his team to play all 4 quarters. You heard Harry Lyles say it a moment ago, a pair of second-year coaches, Del McGee and then Major Applewhite, of course, the legend at Texas. The quarterback played for Mac Brown, was the OC here at South Alabama, taking over the head coaching responsibilities a year ago. But, Luke, you know this. You've been in the profession. When coaches' teams and their records are 1-6,
yep,
they want their players to feel victory again, that the hard work is paying off.
You just want something good to happen, particularly early. Create a spark, momentum, more importantly, confidence. These two teams, if they can play clean and avoid the mistakes, and Harry mentioned it before the break, both of these teams combined for 29 penalties a week ago. You eliminate that, you're going to have a heck of a football game tonight.
Sit back, relax. Week 9, college football is here, and the ball fumbled by T.J. Payton. And already an early mistake for Georgia State. Pops off your chest. You're going to start with the ball at the 2-yard line.
Ouch, you got to secure this football. On the opening kickoff right there, if you're T.J. Payton, just a true freshman out of Buford, Georgia, just north of here in downtown Atlanta. And now you set yourself back with field position. Better buckle up to start this game.
And Cameron Brown now, first career start a week ago. An element that this team loves that he brings to the offense. T.J. Finley was the guy. T.J.'s not going to run a lot. Cameron Brown is. They think that gives them the best chance to win. Rashad Amos in the backfield, cuts outside. That's a good job by him to get a little bit of breathing room and a gain of 3. South Alabama and their defense led by the linebackers and their leader, Darius McKenzie, the first player there.
Yeah, Darius McKenzie, number 28, plugs the hole. 10 tackles a week ago. 2 linebackers for South Alabama are the heart and soul of this defense. They make everything go. The middle of the defense is the strength for the Jaguars.
DJ Murray now in the backfield. 2nd and 7. Brown rolls to his right. Throws it to the back of the South Alabama defender. That was Darius McKenzie again off his back of his leg.
Tell you what, Matt, if Darius McKenzie turns around,
right,
this is an interception. This is a walk into the end zone. He just doesn't realize that the ball's been thrown. He's run into his landmark, and he does a great job of that, but never turns to locate the quarterback or locate the ball. Big 3rd down coming up.
Empty backfield, quick shot, trying to get the first down. And he's going to be marked short. That was Kyle Washington, the true freshman out of Hollywood, Florida. And so USA opening defensive possession. You had the mistake on special teams by Georgia State. South Alabama takes advantage. Now they're going to get a good look, although these punters in pregame when we were down there were punting from the end zone. They were throwing it on the other side of the 50.
Both guys, Reed Chanley, Bo Gaines, 91, 93. Just throw either one of them back there. 91 in Chanley, and they were hammering the ball.
Devin Voisin deep to receive. Catches that one on the run, and that's good special teams. That was a punt of 40, a return of nothing. It was Tyson McCrary on the big hit.
Tyson McCrary doing an excellent job tackling, not only locating the punt returner, but wrapping up. Had a lot of blue jerseys around the ball and didn't get a lot of hang time on that punt from Georgia State, so quick on the cover from the outside. Now good field position for South Alabama here.
And Bishop Davenport, talented quarterback. He's got a talented running back in Kentrell Bullock. That's Voisin in motion. That's Voisin with the ball, and what a stick, but he bounces off. How about that? Bernard Causey III read it perfectly, didn't wrap, and it's a gain of 8 from Voisin.
Well, we just talked about wrapping up in special teams when you're tackling the punt return. You've got to do the same thing here on the perimeter versus Voisin. And this is exactly what South Alabama wanted to do early. Get the ball out on the perimeter, get easy completions for Davenport, give them confidence.
And they're getting their best player the ball right away. It's Voisin again, and that'll be enough for a first down. Something to watch tonight. I mentioned earlier that year 2 for Major Applewhite, he was the offensive coordinator. Major's going to be very heavily involved in the play calling tonight. He wants to get his quarterback in rhythm, and he wants to be more aggressive offensively.
Well, and they know the strength of this Georgia State defense is the front, and they want to get them running sideline to sideline, get them dragging a little bit, tire them out before they start coming downhill with the inside run game.
Yet to run it with Bullock, the Ole Miss transfer. 2 plays and a first down. That's the first carry for Bullock. And he's just going to hammer it up the gut. And a gain of 5.
Now, this is exactly how Major Applewhite described what they want to be on offense to start this game. Lateral, lateral, run. Lateral, lateral, confidence throws for the quarterback, control the line of scrimmage. 4th in the Sun Belt and rushing offense. They're going to lean on that, but you're right. Get you in a 2nd medium, 3rd and medium. And Bishop Thomas on the tackle. And that's exactly what it's going to be, Luke's 3rd and 4. 3rd and 4. Now you got to, I think, utilize Bishop Davenport and his mobility here. Maybe change the launch point and move the pocket here. Kind of a condensed formation to the top.
No Voisin on the field. You saw him there on the bike, limped off the field. P.J. Martin, the 3rd down back. Better at pass protection in the game. Blitz comes. Davenport, back foot, good throw. And that'll be a first down Jags. Brendan Jenkins brought down by Deuce Walker after a gain of 7.
Well, that condensed formation we were talking about brings a crossing route right over, and they flood the area with a vertical route to the bottom. And this is just nice patience, pitch and catch from Bishop Davenport, taking what the defense gives him.
Voisin back on the field. They're going to run it on first down, and you see Bullock keep his feet moving as Deuce Walker after a gain of 4. Davenport, middle of the field, that's open, that's Voisin. He's been active on this first drive. Fillmore after 4. So look, the goal is you see Voisin there, just a little limpy on the right side. Get your playmaker the ball, but we'll keep an eye on him. If he's not going to be able to come in and make plays, you see him limping again for the 2nd time on this drive, and now Luke's a 3rd and short.
Yeah, and in South Alabama has caught Georgia State on both of those crossing routes in man-to-man defense, and they've just won the one-on-one matchup. See what they come up with here. Don't be surprised if they go ahead and run it.
And there you have Kentrell. He's going to be marked short. And so decision time for Major Applewhite, opening drive. Marlon Dean on the tackle. I think 1 and 6, trying to jumpstart your team. I think you send it.
No, yeah, this is 4-down territory. You started the drive with tremendous field position. You've got momentum. Your quarterback's feeling it a little bit. Let's go ahead and try and convert this.
52% on the season, 4th down conversion. Right up the gut, Davenport. He's going to fall his body forward for the first down. So an early conversion for the Jags. Dicey Hopkins on the tackle, but right thing for Major to do.
I love it.
You want him to send a statement to your team early.
Absolutely, and now the team believes in it, and they know they're hot. They've got a great drive going on. They're in the high red zone right here. Entire playbook. And I mentioned the penalties a week ago in the loss against Arkansas State. 10 of them on offense. They have not had one, so they're going ahead. They're staying ahead of the chains. They're on schedule.
They've had holdings in the red zone, making it more difficult. Can they get out of that tonight? Davenport to the end zone. Has a man. What a throw. Touchdown, Jags. Brendan Jenkins. Lugs and the visitors came out in an 11-play drive, 5 for 5 for 41 yards and a touchdown for Davenport.
This is a really well-thrown football and a nice adjustment by Jenkins. Really throwing as if it was a back shoulder ball. He locates it. Great hand-eye coordination at the front pylon.
Hamilton DeBoyan on for the extra point. Remember, that drive was aided by good field position after the special teams mishap on the opening kick for Georgia State. So that's the way the road team get to start. 10 plays, 54 yards, and a touchdown for the Jags. Davenport feeling good early.
Back in Atlanta, 7-0 South Alabama, and what an easy pre-snap read for quarterback Bishop Davenport. Look at the safety's alignment. They do the token fake right here, and you've got all of this green grass and a receiver one-on-one. Nothing to get in the way of this throw. No danger of middle safety help over the top, and just drops it in the bucket. Really well played and well executed by the South Alabama quarterback.
Worth noting, Kyle Washington now returning the kick. They replaced the true freshman after he bobbled it off his chest in the opening kickoff that had Georgia State starting at their own 2. It's Parker Shattuck on the tackle. A little bit better field position for Cameron Brown here and the Panthers on their second drive.
Well, yeah, and it gives Hugh Jackson, the offensive coordinator, a little more breathing room in terms of the utilization of the playbook. They're spread out here a little bit more. They like to flex the tight end out. He's to the bottom of your screen, but they're going to be in a 2-by-2 set like you see right here an awful lot tonight.
That's Amos on the run. Brought down by McKenzie. Lugs, as we take a look at your impact players tonight.
Well, it's skill versus skill. It's wide receiver Ted Hurst for Georgia State taking on Nehemiah Chandler, the 6'2" corner for South Alabama. This is a one-on-one matchup to watch. Two tall kids. They want to get the ball in Ted Hurst's hands downfield. Some one-on-one matchups should be coming between these two guys throughout the course of the night.
Hurst, 6'3", 195, big kid, big tackle. That was DJ Murray, brought down by Ty Goodwill, and a no gain, bringing up another 3rd and long.
Yeah, Matt, the coach has made it very clear to us, if this offense is going to create explosive plays, the ball has to get into the hands of number 1, Ted Hurst. But now you're a little bit off schedule, behind the chains on 3rd down. Got to come up with a big play here.
Hugh Jackson told us he has to touch the ball. He's yet to do it in the first 2 drives. As DJ Murray motions back into the backfield, Brown to throw. Over the middle, and there he is, right on cue, and you see why. Gone! Ask and you shall receive. The star, Ted Hurst, split the seam for 70.
Ted Hurst just works the 2nd level in cut behind the linebacker, who's dropping to his own spot. That's Blaine Myrick, 32, and then once Ted Hurst catches the football, gets up the seam, it is a foot race for the 6'3" speedster. And what a special player and a big play guy for the Panthers.
A season-long touchdown for the Panthers as Liam Rickman on for the extra point. Don't you just love it when the star players make you look good? We say they have to get the ball to Hurst, 3rd and long, over the middle, 70 yards later, see ya. And we have a 7-7 ball game early on here in Sun Belt football.
ESPN Thursday Night College Football is presented by Liberty Mutual Insurance. Only pay for what you need.
The Ferris wheel here in downtown Atlanta. We got a good one. There's going to be some .77 after the big play. Hurst with the 70-yard touchdown.
Do a really nice job with the play concept right here, and then they're going to cross in there. They're going to isolate this defender. Now once you do that, you got right here to the middle of the field, and there's nobody home. This is a really nicely designed play by offensive coordinator Hugh Jackson in a well-thrown football. And then it's just a foot race for the big speedster, Ted Hurst.
At the longest play for Georgia State since September of 24, a 76-yard touchdown by Ted Hurst. Lugs, we had a feeling prepping for this game, both of these teams have good quarterbacks. Both of these teams had good skill.
Yep.
You had a sense that maybe we could be in for an offensive firework tonight.
Well, and it's interesting all throughout the week as we've talked about this game. We kept having conversations. Man, you watch these teams, both of them at first and third quarter really good, or second and fourth quarter really good, but never four consecutives. And it's usually because of self-inflicted wounds. Harry Lyles mentioned it. I just referred to my UFL compadre. Mentioned it when we came on air. If you don't beat yourself, you can be a pretty good football team.
So Keenan Phillips in the backfield. He's more the big play threat. Speaking of Harry Lyles, let's go down to him.
Hey, Luke, this is okay. Harry Douglas is my boy. Devin Voisin was down here. He does have a little bit of a limp, as you guys can tell. He got both of his ankles retaped. It looked like there might have been a little bit more on that left. Keep an eye on that.
All right, we will, Harry. Thank you. Tempo out of South Alabama. Nothing there from Georgia State. Brought down by Henry Bryant III. And now it's going to bring up a 3rd and 9. Davenport again over the middle. They are working the middle of the field. That's to Jeremy Scott. There goes Scott. Oh, we're going to have some points tonight in Atlanta. I'll take your 70-yard touchdown and raise you 74. Jags back on top.
This is just a one-on-one, simple three-step slant route. Bishop Davenport throws it 1 foot in front of the numbers. Jeremy Scott does the rest, gets upfield quickly, transitions with the football. And we've seen some offensive skill tonight from both of these teams that can flat out run. We are going to be in for a treat. Somebody better come up with some answers on defense playing in the open field.
Well, why would you want that? That's not fun. By the way, both of these touchdowns, the 70-yarder by Hurst and that one by South Alabama, both of those came on 3rd and long. And so Deuce Walker down for Georgia State. He's laying down there in the end zone. And what an answer, Jeremy Scott. Between Brendan Jenkins, Anthony Eager, Devin Voisin, as you heard Harry mention a moment ago, got his ankles taped up. It doesn't appear that Major Applewhite's hurting for offensive weapons here in this offense early.
Well, he told us this week, we have got to be more explosive. But one of the things about being more explosive is you got to stay ahead of the chains. You can't constantly be in 2nd and 15 or 3rd and 10, which they've routinely been in because of penalties. Tonight, super clean. They're pushing the ball downfield. Really effective execution for Major Applewhite.
It's the first game this season for South Alabama scoring a touchdown on their first 2 possessions. I guess Major was right. They were going to be aggressive. As you see Walker hobbled as he walks off the field. I mean, you knew the Sun Belt was going to give us some entertainment on their season debut of Thursday night college football. So here it was again. Jeremy Scott, season-long play for the Jags. I believe we have a track meet on our hands. Saturday, SEC and ABC slate. Another trio of ranked games. Ole Miss and Oklahoma amounts to a playoff elimination game for all intents and purposes. Alabama at struggling South Carolina, then the nightcap, Texas A&M. Maybe the quietest talked about #3 team in the country in a while. At Baton Rouge, always a scary place to play at night. A fair catch there to the 25-yard line by Kyle Washington. And already here in the first quarter, 21 points. Over 200 yards of offense, which puts us on pace for 140 points and 1,400 yards.
Take a look at the numbers right here. And every time you see something like this happen, it puts more pressure on the next team on offense to come up with an answer. You either got to sustain a drive and come up with points, or hit yourself a nice explosive downfield like you did on the last series with Ted Hurst. But it looks like tonight's going to be one of those evenings where you can't afford to not score.
So Cameron Brown, he's going to go right down the field again. No penalty thrown. That's the true freshman Grant Hollier, the tight end. And it falls incomplete. And Luke, that's an interesting point. Early on in the game, sometimes we can tell if it's going to be a defensive battle. We think we know now. You're right. You have to come out and score.
You got to come out and score. Doesn't mean you press, but you better have some urgency and realize what style of game you're in.
Off the left side, that's Branson Robinson on the carry. And he picks up 5, bringing up a 3rd and medium. So already we've seen 3 backs tonight for the Panthers.
Branson Robinson, recruited by Del McGee, the head coach at Georgia State, while he was at the University of Georgia, came over through the transfer portal. three pretty good backs in this Georgia State backfield.
Speaking of McGee, second year the running backs coach at Georgia. He's coached quite a few good ones in his time at Athens. Right over the middle, 3rd and 5. That's going to be right on the marker. That's Lane Wadle.
They're going to give it to him.
Yep, that's going to be a first down. So they move the chains. Christopher Wallace Jr. on the tackle. And so Georgia State gets to reset.
You know, and so far, South Alabama has decided to play this pretty cool on defense. They're not coming after the quarterback. I don't think they want to give him an opportunity to get flushed and get on the perimeter and lose contain on him, but he's doing a nice job with patience to take what the defense gives him in the passing game.
As DJ Murray in the backfield fakes it to him over the middle, slip screen to number 5, Javon Robinson, and Blaine Myrick after 8. So both quarterbacks looking impressive early. Cam 4 of 6, 88 and a touchdown. Bishop 6 of 6, 115 and 2. Gonna run off the left side. That'll be the second first down on this drive. That was DJ Murray Jr. They're gonna need some pickle juice on the sidelines in this one. That's got a feeling.
There's a lot of running around that time. Number 20, Tyrell Johnson, the edge player for South Alabama, so concerned about quarterback keep and quarterback run. It creates that big cutback lane for your Georgia State running back and Dennis Murray Jr.
And what did Dell and Hugh Jackson tell us? They thought that their offense played their best half of offense last week in the rivalry game against Georgia Southern, and they've come right back out here in the first quarter. There goes DJ, touchdown Panthers. He broke through the Wes Miller tackle. Oh, here we go.
Just as the backside rail route, Dennis Murray Jr., 23, and he breaks that tackle by Wesley Miller there on the sideline, tight ropes the rest of the way, and here we go.
Rickman, good. This is going to be fun. Because legitimately at this point, I have no idea when it's going to stop. I mean, we've got 28 points. We're not even through the first quarter. 14 all. Both these young quarterbacks, Cameron Brown, 5 of 7, 140 yards, 2 touchdowns, just his second start of the season. And I don't know how you want to cage this. Is everything working for the offenses, or are the defenses just having a rough night early? That's a career first for Murray, his first touchdown.
We're seeing some wrinkles, a little bit of everything. Now remember, that's Hurst right there, so they're going to clear him out, and you got to respect that. They're going to motion this back here, which is going to force these guys to come there, and here's the rail route right there. Really well done. You get the defense, commit a couple of eye violations. You don't locate the back in coverage. Ted Hurst has to be respected. He turns into the lead blocker and is really the reason that you score when you're Dennis Murray Jr. You got to go over there, pat your pal on the back.
Micah Woods deep to receive. That's going to go into the end zone for a touchback. We've had 28 points in the last 4 minutes and 45 seconds.
Just the way we want it.
Yeah, look, we get weird on Thursdays. Again, the Sun Belt making its debut on Thursday Night Football this year, and it's been fun to start.
Well, when you look at these two teams and you look at the execution, we've talked all week long, Matt, God, these guys got athletes. They got athletes. And they're playing clean football, so guess what you get? A really good football game.
And if you look at the story of South Alabama with the players they lost in May in the portal, that they have these guys on the roster to begin with is impressive. Is Davenport down the field. We're going to do it again. That's Breck Long, the tight end, and our first flag of the night.
I'd have a legal man downfield. This took a long time to develop, Matt.
Ineligible player downfield. Offense, number 60. Trains first down.
That's our referee on the night, Scott Broadway.
Yeah, it was a really good flood concept. A deep route. A deep corner over route to the sideline, and then the back in the flat. But you see the offensive line for South Alabama just too far downfield. Took a little while to throw that one, but what a terrific throw and catch. Too bad it was negated.
To finish the story on South Alabama, Gio Lopez enters the portal in May, their quarterback. They lost Bothwell to the SEC, and they've got another good running back right up the gut as we check in with Harry.
Matt, it's a lower body injury for Deuce Walker. He's officially questionable to return to this football game.
All right, number 7, Deuce Walker on the Georgia State defense, their safety. So a good gain there by Bullock and a gain of 10. Got the penalty yardage back. 2nd and 5. Why not? Bullock picks up the first down and a gain of 9, brought down by D-Icy Hopkins. His name is D-Icy.
This offensive line did not like that penalty because they just got back 15 yards and 2 plays on the ground.
Davenport has a guy, one-on-one coverage. Let's go. Devin Voisin. Chandler Jordan, the true freshman, beat Davenport. Great recognition of the coverage. We're going for 55.
Nobody in the middle of the field. Another great throw and catch, and South Alabama quick to the line of scrimmage.
As they should. Bullock fights his way through. Bullock in the end zone. Another touchdown in the first quarter. There is 0.0% chance the NFL game is going to score like this. None, zero, zilch.
Nada.
They may not score this many points the entire game.
Execution of these two offenses, and I guess the lack thereof of these two defenses, both having a difficult time handling the one-on-one matchups of the skill on the outside.
Luke, they're going to get a season worth of offensive stats in one game. Both these teams. Again, I bring up what Major Applewhite said to us this week. He thought that his team needed to get more aggressive and take more shots down the field. He executed the game plan to perfection, and that he got Davenport going early with high percentage passes, and now he's just letting them loose.
Yeah, he's letting them loose, and they caught Georgia State there, as we see the touchdown on the ground from Bullock. But they caught Georgia State there with a defender that was playing outside leverage, meaning he was aligned to the outside of Voisin. So all Voisin had to do is attack him and then hit the middle of the field because there was no middle safety help. So the quarterback, again, has the easy read like he did on the first touchdown to Brendan Perkins.
You know, doing our prep, you've said it a couple of times now, we're looking at, we're like, well, that guy's good. that guy's, well, and he's good too, so what?
What's wrong?
And it's just, it comes down to penalties,
sure,
self-inflicted wounds, and not finishing. And again, we said it in the open, both of these teams have the talent to go on a run. If you don't start tonight, you're not going to postseason. Each team has 2 50-plus yard pass plays. Now I'm excited to see what Georgia State does for an answer.
Well, that's the thing that makes you nervous, right? Because sooner or later, at some point, there's going to be a slip-up by one of these teams that's going to force a punt. And does that then break the spell? So now it's Georgia State's turn to come up with an answer. So far, they've had them, as is South Alabama. But the pressure starts to mount for both of these teams each time they take the field on offense.
You know, the first possession of this game was a punt.
Right.
Silly us.
Yep.
So 35 points in less than 6.5 minutes. Georgia State with the ball. Javon Robinson trying on the end around, and a big hit by the Jags defense led by Wes Miller. Still 4 yards for the Panthers.
Take it every time on those early downs, staying ahead of the chains. Both of these teams offensively throughout the season have had a hard time doing that. They've made things harder on themselves. Not here tonight.
South Alabama says procedure on Georgia State. I think they're right.
Illegal snap. Offense, number 54. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
This is Tyler Williams, the center.
Yeah, I think Cameron Brown was coming down to give us a cadence and a signal there, and really startled his own guys a little bit. And now you're backed up with 2nd and 11.
I mean, with our average per play tonight, Georgia State averaging 12.4 yards a play. I'm not sure they're scared by the 11. Cameron Brown keeps it. That's the element he brings. He can get to the perimeter and run. And that'll be a gain of 13 and a first down.
I love that decision by Cameron Brown. He probably could have dumped this off. Might have been a 2 to 3 yard gain with a tackle. Instead, he splits the 2 defenders and gets a fresh set of downs. Again, that's why he's the starter right now.
And Luke, you beat me to it. It was a simplistic play, but that play right there is why they went to him.
Yep.
Play fake. Made his read, brought it down, eyes downfield. Good shot, incomplete. Intended for Keyron Milton. I got to tell you, number 8, he's fun to watch. Because even that was a good throw.
Yeah, this was a really good throw. And he probably could have ran this again and gotten 2 to 3 yards. But that was a well-thrown football low into the outside. Narrowly missed by Keyron Milton.
Blitz coming. Right on it as Brown sneaks his way up the middle for 2. The true freshman, Imori Smiley. They're going to rotate a lot of defensive linemen tonight for the Jags. That's going to bring up a 3rd and long. Remember, 2 touchdowns, long touchdowns, 70-plus yards scored on 3rd and long here in the first quarter. They don't have to get the play clock off to end the first quarter, the playoff rather, and they're not going to. They're going to let the clock go to zeros. And what has been an entertaining first one, a bunch of home runs early on. The first quarter looks like so. 33 plays, 35 points, 384 total yards of offense. If you're not enjoying this, I can't help you. And we still have 3 quarters.
to Atlanta, where South Alabama leads Georgia State 21-14. Coach, you talked about executing, but you also talked about aggressiveness earlier this week. How would you evaluate your team's performance up to this point?
The guys are doing a great job of mixing both, being aggressive but also executing, fundamentals, the details. It looks like a shootout right now. We got to settle down a little bit on defense. We got to get this third down stop and then start trying to control the game a little bit.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Let's see if they get the third down stop. Cameron Brown tried to shuttle it out to his player, Jordan Simmons. It's going to fall incomplete, and that's going to bring up a fourth down in our second punt of the night. The last FBS game with each team having multiple 50-yard completions in the first quarter, September 15th, 2018. That was Houston at Texas Tech. The quarterbacks, De'Eric King and Alan Bowman. The head coach of Houston, Major Applewhite.
Major Applewhite, that's right.
So Voisin makes a couple of men miss early on. Good to get something out of nothing after a punt of 52 and a return of 9. So the story in the first quarter, Lugs, it's simple. Big plays.
Big plays, explosive plays, critical plays on third downs, particularly in Georgia State's case. And then a little pitch and catch right there to Woods. To Jeremy Scott, number 9 for South Alabama. And this is just an off to the races, down to the sideline play for Dennis Murray Jr. with the assist by Ted Hurst blocking down the sideline.
I find that it's my responsibility to keep you updated on our points and yards pace. 140 points, 1,536 yards. That's our pace. Keenan Phillips. Would it be the most remarkable thing in college football history if another point wasn't scored? So a gain of 3 on the play by Phillips.
Oh no, Major Applewhite and Hugh Jackson on the Georgia State sideline as the offensive coordinator. They're pretty dialed in tonight. So are their kids.
Another run by South Alabama. That's a good cut back by Phillips. They've got 3 backs, like we said, that they're comfortable with. They think he's their big play guy. Bullock's the downhill run of the Ole Miss transfer. And now 3rd and 3. Davenport to his left. Good job finding the high percentage pass. Anthony Eager, good enough for a first down. I was getting worried we're going to have 2 punts in a row.
Oh, no. Don't you dare. Anthony Eager. Well done. Rolling to your left. Your Bishop Davenport. Little pitch and catch to the outside. Quick speed cut out. Well-designed play into the boundary for a fresh set of downs.
Davenport yet to throw an incompletion. 8 of 8, 181 yards and 2 touchdowns. Appropriate that I can make this statement. The perfect game is still intact in a baseball stadium. Voisin a 10-yard reception and another first down. Davenport now 9 for 9.
I love his pocket awareness on that last throw.
Tempo coming. Phillips brought down by Fuchsius Lewis II.
This is exactly what Major Applewhite was hoping to get started with Bishop Davenport. Get him confidence. Get him puffing his chest out a little bit. He's clearly talented, Matt. You and I were down there in pregame warm-up, and you look at him throw the football. It's a pretty picture.
Stretch run to the outside. Positive yardage. Going to be marked right at the first down marker. That's Phillips. They'll give him the first down. Ian Matthews on the tackle. It may not have felt it at first, but I think South Alabama may have had a little bit of an upgrade with the quarterback position with what they found in Davenport.
No question. He is feeling it right now, and they're doing a really good job of just giving him simple reads, quick stuff, get the ball to your hand.
Here he goes again. Smart check down. And sometimes that's what a quarterback needs to do. He put his eyes downfield, said, you know what, I've got Keenan Phillips for a gain of 9. I'm going to check down to him.
He's got a layered route, meaning a deep route, an intermediate route, and a short route. And check downs get first downs. So if you like what you see and it's there underneath, go ahead and just throw it to him. Let him do the rest. 8-yard gain, and all you did was throw the ball to the flat. Really well done by Davenport.
Now 10 of 10. How about that cutback? You know, I have to go to Harry for our Braves knowledge, but did Greg Maddux or any of the fellas throw a perfect game here at the former home of the Atlanta Braves? Because right now, this pitcher for the South Alabama Jags is doing that. Heavily running on this one, P.J. Martin in. So we've seen Bullock, Phillips, and Martin. Mr. Brio Rhodes Nelson brings him down after 2.
He brings him down with the forearm right up near the neck. Can pull him down.
Oh, yeah.
Backwards.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Yeah. With that big hook in there.
How about this approach by Major, though? He's been taking shots downfield. They've relied heavily on the run game and intermediate passing on this drive.
No question. Been very successful at the point of attack. Offensive line playing very well in this series.
Davenport yet to throw the incompletion. Brendan Jenkins. And a gain of 6. Bringing up 3rd and short.
Now you're in 2-down territory here. I don't think there's any question about it, man.
With the way your offense is going?
Yep.
I'd go for it at the other 20. Play fake. Davenport has a guy wide open over the middle of the field. Early contact, no penalty. And that was the first incompletion of the night for Davenport. Probably looked at Woods a little late. Had him wide open, but Dicey Hopkins got there.
Yeah, you got to be careful, too, because you're coming back and throwing across your body to a late crossing middle target. That can be dangerous. Look at the numbers, though, even with that incompletion, which I'm not so sure that wasn't an early hit from the safety there from Georgia State, but I like this call from Major Applewhite.
4th and 2, it's Martin in the backfield. Davenport has it if he wants it, takes it, there he goes, makes a cut, and a first down, USA.
I love this play call because it's 2 plays built into one in a short yardage situation where you're going to give them the flat route out there in space. You don't like it, they cover it down, but nobody's covering down for the quarterback. Your linebacker is late in Kedrick Walker. And now you've got an athletic quarterback out in space. Just a really good play call by Major Applewhite.
So now 1st and goal. Thirteenth play of the drive. And that's Lewis. This drive is up over 6 minutes, 13 plays, right now 79 yards. Well, completely different than the big play drive.
But like you said, now all of a sudden you're having to defend a bunch of other things. You didn't have to defend those first 2 to 3 series. You're getting some inside power run game. They're stressing the perimeter by moving the pocket. This is a really diverse game plan right now from South Alabama.
Davenport tries to muscle his way in. Davenport does. And the scoring continues for the Jags. 3 total TDs for Davenport tonight. And just 1 incompletion.
Didn't follow the lead blocker right there this time. Keenan Phillips still found a crease and got some help late from the offensive line with a bit of a push.
Someone from this game is getting the most coveted individual award in all of sport, the college football final helmet sticker on Saturday.
Oh, you're already declaring?
I feel it.
Okay.
You have to declare because EJ or Joey will try to do it.
Yeah, see, they'll try to undercut you.
Yeah, you gotta state your claim.
You gotta watch out for those rascals.
You saw the Georgia State player jump off sides, Tyler Scott. South Alabama, 4 drives.
The try is good. Offside. Fitness number 4. Penalty is declined. Correction, number 5.
So 4 drives, 4 TDs. How about Bishop Davenport? 11 of 12, 205, 2 through the air, 1 on the ground. Jags scoring. ESPN College Football Primetime presented by Liberty Mutual. Midway through the second quarter, Tom Luganville, Matt Berry, Harry Lyles. The South Alabama offense has come out tonight. Specifically, their quarterback, Bishop Davenport, 11 straight completions to start. That is the second most in the Sun Belt this year. The other, TJ Finley. Georgia State had 13 against Memphis. Lugs, this week's Then and Now. Who and what you have?
A little Then and Now throwback to the 2001 XFL champion, LA Extreme. You see Del McGee, the head coach for Georgia State, was our starting corner. Really good player. They could probably use a little bit of his talents here tonight with what we've seen with the explosive offensive fireworks. Del McGee's been the Georgia State head coach going into his second year. Hired late last year. Real challenges for him and the staff as they went into the 2024 season. 2 new coordinators this year in 2025 trying to get things underway.
Fantastic running backs coach at Georgia. That's Cameron Brown over the middle. That's Ted Hurst, his second reception of the night. First one went for a 70-yard touchdown. You're right, Del McGee started this with his back against the wall.
Yes.
Getting this job so late February of 24. By then, spring ball had already started. And so really drinking water through a fire hose in your first year and now trying to get some stability here in your second. Cameron Brown probably provides that at quarterback. And South Alabama all over it, bringing up a 3rd and 3.
Well, you're right. You take the job in February, so you've already missed the first transfer portal. Now you're going to have a second transfer portal last spring after spring football, players that you don't even know yet. Then you lose those players. You go into the summer and then into the fall with a completely brand new group of coaches, players, and you're still trying to figure out who everybody is.
Grew up in Columbus, Georgia, lifelong Georgian and coaching. Connections throughout the state. 3rd and 2. Blitz coming. Davenport sets down. Good shot over the middle. First down, Panthers. That's the big play receiver, Hurst, already having a good night. Brought down by Miller.
Just as a deep in cut right here, and his quarterback, Cameron Brown, does a really good job. He starts working left, comes right back, and the timing, it was hit his fifth step, one hitch, ball out, and boy, has Ted Hurst been as advertised tonight.
Hurst, 3 catches, 96 yards, and a touchdown. Move the chains, pressure coming. Cameron Brown taking a shot downfield. Incomplete. Derek Avery Jr., the true freshman out of Alpharetta, Georgia, had it. And it fell down right at the last minute. Javon Henderson on the coverage. Would have been a shot of 43.
Well, Henderson late to get his hand in there. You see number 2. And right as they go to the ground, he rips it out. Really nice job by the South Alabama defender right there. Man, we have had some fireworks. This ball was being pushed downfield and got some terrific one-on-one matchups here tonight.
Quick shot out of the backfield. Simmons lowers his shoulder, gets some hard-fought yardage. Dallas Young and Myrick. So now 3rd and 6.
Take one more look at that down the sideline. A little grabbing early. I don't think it impeded anything, but just a great play once again by Henderson down the field.
So 4 down territory, you would think, with the scoring that's going on tonight. 3rd and 6. Screen play set up. Plenty of blockers for Murray. And that closed quickly by the USA defense. Myrick, a big gain, and a gain of 3.
Well, this is a big decision right here for Del McGee and Georgia State.
Don't you think, though, at this point, you've got to keep pace?
You do. I agree. I like what they're thinking right here. And this is the area of the field with analytics and down and distance, line to gain. This is where, more often than not, coaches are going to choose to go for it on 4th down.
And that might change their plans right there. False start. Kind of the story of both of these offensive lines this year. Oh, they got the timeout. So a flag was down, but the timeout banged before it. Del McGee got to think about it. 28-14, South Alabama.
SEC all day on ABC.
This is about as good as it gets if you're a college football fan.
Another treat coming on Saturday. Triple header of SEC action. 2 of the 3 games ranked on ranked. We've got 500 yards of total offense here. 5:03 in the second quarter. 4th and 3 coming up, Lugs. What does Georgia State like to call here? What do you need to call?
I think they need to get Cameron Brown, the quarterback, on the move, on the perimeter, give him a run-pass option. We've seen South Alabama have success with this on 3rd and 4th and short, and you've got a similar athletic quarterback in Brown.
Really a big play here for the Panthers with how South Alabama scoring. Quick over the middle. There it is. Get it to Hurst. Probably rule number 1. That'll be a 4th down conversion. Wallace Jr. and Myrick on the tackle, but it's after 9 and a 1st down.
Very good decisive throw right here. You know exactly what the line to gain is. Get the ball out of your hands. Don't risk a hit. Don't risk a hurry. And now you get a fresh set of downs.
And Hurst goes over 100 yards on the night. 105. Reset the downs. Bounces outside, and good recovery by the South Alabama defense as Miller brings down DJ Murray Jr. for no gain.
A little more tempo now you're seeing out of this Georgia State offense.
Brown, incomplete. And they were able to jump that route. That was Nehemiah Chandler.
That's that one-on-one matchup that we discussed with our impact players, and Chandler is just such a good cover guy. 2 interceptions over the last 2 weeks. Tall, long. He's a guy that they feel like they can set to one side of the field. He can lock up man-to-man. They can do some other things opposite of him.
Came into the game 10th in the nation in pass breakups. 3rd and long. Dangerous pass, incomplete. Grant Hollier popped by Dallas Young. And now you're kind of in no man's land. They said they feel good with their kicker at about a 52-yarder, but at this point, a field goal is not going to do you anything.
No, it's not. You're gonna you got to play field position. See if you can. They can do. Oh, they're going to go. Ooh, all right.
Oh,
wow.
I stand corrected.
That's not what. They did not seem overly confident from this range, talking as early as yesterday with Del McGee.
That's Braden McAllister, 49 yards. Just 1 of 5 on field goal attempts this season. That was a line drive and no good. So they elect to go for the field goal. Didn't work. Now the Jags, when they're running, they've got the ball up 28-14.
Welcome back to Atlanta, where South Alabama leads Georgia State 28-14 as the Jaguars come back out on offense and the Panthers on defense. Deuce Walker, number 7 cornerback, is out for the remainder of the game, Matt, and Kobe Owens, number 20 linebacker, is questionable to return with an upper body injury.
All right, so not good for a defense that right now South Alabama is being able to do whatever they want. They're going to go to Scott again, and that's incomplete. Scott had the 74-yard touchdown in the first quarter. The true freshman Tyson McCrary does a good job. He's a big player in his own right for a corner, 6 feet on the 6'3" Jeremy Scott.
Tell you what, Major Applewhite is not holding anything back here tonight, Matt. You get the stop on the turnover on downs, on the missed field goal, you immediately take a shot down the sideline.
I think if Georgia State could have the ball back again, they'd probably go for it. Because at 3rd and 10, you're in a game that's clearly a shootout. The field goal and the 3 doesn't do you much good with the kicker that's not had much success this year. And you hand the ball right back to the Jags offense. Kentrell Bullock there. You've got Ted Hurst, who's having a really, really good game.
Yep.
So we'll see. And look, if the defense can hook their coach up and get off the field, then maybe you've got a different conversation.
Huge defensive series here for the Panthers. And it's been a tough outing for them on defense because South Alabama has been really good on 3rd down.
So Georgia State communicating their defensive call. Can they get a stop? Right up the middle. There go the Jaguars. Another first down. Kentrell Bullock in a gain of 11.
Really nice job. They just run split zone right here with the motion man coming and blocking the end man on the line of scrimmage. Bullock just finding a crease in line there, covering the ball with both hands and falling forward.
Now over 300 yards of offense in the first half. That's a good defensive play in the backfield. Kendrick Walker. Walker in for Owens, who you heard Harry mention a moment ago, questionable to return. He gets a TFL and a loss of 1.
Does a nice job of scraping over the top here, getting to the edge and securing the ball carrier, bringing him down. See ball, get ball.
First TFL for either team tonight, but that shouldn't surprise you if you've watched this from the beginning. And that'll take us to the 2-minute timeout.
2-minute timeout.
So 28-14, South Alabama. Full complement of offense tonight. We'll step aside for the 2-minute. Zubin, you get my vote. You mentioned the Sun Devils. Michael Woods on the outside tries to spin back. He does successfully. Jalen Jones, and that'll be a first down. Miller McCrummy was able to spring the block. And remember, South Alabama starts with the ball in the third quarter. So if Georgia State and the Panthers are going to get a defensive stop, this would probably be the time.
Minute 45 and counting right here. 3 timeouts. Don't have to be in a hurry. Want to have a little sense of urgency.
Davenport pulls it down, wisely slides, nothing available deep. And a gain of 2 and a timeout, Georgia State. Kickoff, Week 8, NFL Sunday, 10 a.m. Eastern with the Countdown Crew on ESPN, the all-new ESPN app. Early breaking news, injury updates, previews of each game right up to kickoff, and then the Week 8 Monday Night Football game. The Commanders without Jaden Daniels, taking on Kansas City and the Chiefs, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific, ABC, ESPN, ESPN Deportes, and the all-new ESPN app. Matt Berry, Tom Lukenbill up here in the booth. We got teased with a lot of points early on. South Alabama still moving the ball defensively. Georgia State, however, they need to come up with a stop, Luke. If this is a 2-for-1 for South Alabama, it could get late early.
Yeah, there's no question about it. And as you mentioned, South Alabama comes out of the locker room, so they got to be very careful here, understand the situation, the area of the field that they're on. You don't want to take a sack. You want to come away with some form of points. Yeah. And that timeout taken by Georgia State, I think, is going to end up helping and aiding South Alabama as well, because it preserves an extra timeout for them.
So now 3rd and 6. This is definitely 4-down territory for the Jags, you would think. Haven't had a problem converting tonight. Pressure coming. Davenport throws, and what a comeback by Scott. McCrary had good coverage, but that's going to be a gain of 8 and a first down, Jags.
Looks like he's going to sell, like he's going to go vertical, and then just comes right back down the stem. That's a really good throw by Bishop Davenport with people in his face. Jeremy Scott tonight has been a playmaker.
Davenport quickly. Voice and hit. That's going to be a gain of 9. So no panic right now out of the Jags, moving the clock, and Georgia State's going to take their 3rd and final timeout. I vote in the booth. We just keep his mic off for the rest of the night.
Seem to be having a few audio technical difficulties. We'll let you call the timeouts up here.
We all know the timeout signal. How about the first half for Bishop Davenport?
Well, and look at the smile on his face. I mean, you can tell he's feeling it. Got a smile. He's kind of, right now, as his teammates are gravitating towards his overall effectiveness and execution. His accuracy has been on point tonight. They've had explosives. He's pushed the ball down the field. We talked when we came on air tonight about how efficient he was a week ago, 18 of 23 in their loss to Arkansas State, but only 118 yards.
Still has more touchdowns than incompletions. 2nd and short. Rolling to his right. Gonna take it with his feet. And he's gonna be marked short, stepped out of bounds, shy of the first down marker.
Well, you got to get that first down there, Bishop Davenport. I don't know if he thought he had crossed it or gotten it. But if there was a time to not protect yourself, it was right there. Get that shoulder down to the sideline. Find a way to get that first down.
5 of 7 on 3rd down tonight. And right up the gut. No problem converting there, and a gain of 5. There's Kentrell Bullock.
This offensive line playing really well tonight. Again, 10 penalties on offense for South Alabama last week.
And he challenged them.
He did. To the point where they got in practice, and if somebody's not getting something done, they said, get him out of there and get somebody else in. Get somebody in there who will do it right.
5 holding penalties, 4 false starts last week, and a 1-point loss. And that'll add up and drive a coach nuts. They're going to keep it on the ground, and Georgia State's going to be right there. P.J. Martin, the running back, and Major's going to have to use one of his 3 timeouts. Things in a season when you're 1-6, they'll add up. And for South Alabama a week ago, they've had 3 one-score games. They lost to Tulane 33-31. Tulane's got a good football team. They're in the conversation. 31-24 to Troy, 15-14 to Arkansas State. When you start adding up penalties, drive stallers, and things of that magnitude, you can go from looking at 4-2, 4-3 to 1-6 like that.
Real quickly, yeah. And what we've seen here tonight is when you don't have some of those self-inflicted wounds, when you're just executing at a high level, you're a pretty good football team.
When you talk about the penalties, just 1 penalty each team, at least here in the first half, and the most losses without a win in 1-score games. That's just this season alone. Mike Norvell, they go to Stanford last week and take a tough loss. And here's South Alabama. Again, we're looking at this talent like, how are these guys 1-6? Reverse. Eager. He's going to trot. However, a flag on the play.
We're going to get an illegal chop block here.
Holding.
A hold.
Offense, number 7.
Yep.
10-yard penalty.
And there, what were we just talking about? Offensive line penalties at inopportune times.
He's got the reverse executed really, really well.
Unless the hold sprung it.
Yep.
So it's going to back the chains up. 2nd and 19 after the hold. Still 2 timeouts for USA. Quick shot outside. Voisin busy first half. Huff knocks him out. Gain of 8. Remember, Voisin early in the game came off the field limping. Harry reported that he taped both ankles. He's got 7 receptions and 98 yards here in the first half.
Well, that was a killer penalty right there, but what a response on the next play to get back essentially 10 yards, get out of bounds, not have to waste a timeout, and here we are.
So Hamilton DeBoyan on for the 35-yard attempt, 6 of 8 this season. Trying for 5 scores and 5 possessions. Snap clean. Kick, no good. So that'll take us to the half. And maybe a little bit of momentum for Georgia State. It looked like South Alabama was going to cruise in for another score, but albeit 351 yards of total offense and 28 points. And right now, the Jags have a 28-14 lead as we go to Zubin Mehenti and E.J. Manuel with Sam Acho in the studio. back to ESPN College Football Prime Time, presented by Liberty Mutual, as these Thursday night buses parked in downtown Atlanta for some Sun Belt action. And it's South Alabama up 28-14 in a game where we saw in the first half a combined 570 yards of offense. Tom Lugan, Bill, and Matt Berry back with you. We started the program saying, look, if one of these teams wants to go on a second half run and get to a bowl game, you have to win tonight. And early on, it's been Major Applewhite and that South Alabama offense that's come to play.
Yeah, and it's been chock full of explosives for this offense, and that's what they wanted. They wanted to get off to a fast start, play ahead of the chains, and push the ball downfield in the passing game, and they've done it with both teams tonight. And it started in the first quarter. This is Ted Hurst on the slant route from Cameron Brown, and then follow up with South Alabama, a slant route. Jeremy Scott. And these are big explosive plays, and it's going back and forth, so you started to wonder, when is somebody going to get that stop and force a punt? And that happened, and that somebody, as we went through the first quarter and a half, was Georgia State. And that's where South Alabama finds themselves right now. They're going to get the ball coming out of the locker room. They're going to want to run the football. They did that towards the end of the second quarter. But, man, what an explosive first half. Somehow, some way here, Georgia State's got to get a stop on defense, Matt.
Look at those 50-plus yard plays. South Alabama, 351 yards total offense. However, the missed field goal at the end of the half kept it a two-score game for the Panthers as we check in with Harry.
Matt, I spoke with Del McGee coming out of the locker room. He said offensively they have to be better on third down. Defensively, he said they got to be better, but it's also going to be tough. These defensive injuries they have specifically at corner have them thin. That's going to be something to watch here in the second half.
Yeah, we talked about some of the injuries. Deuce Walker out for the game. Their starting linebacker, Kobe Owens, was questionable. We were having a conversation at the half, Lugs, that you wonder how aggressive Major will be. He's been that running game, by the way, 110 rushing yards in the first half. They did that successfully as well.
Yeah, particularly in the second quarter. He started getting things going. This offensive line started heating up.
All three Jags backs have been active, and that's how they're going to start, is on the ground to start the third quarter. And that was Bullock for a gain of 3. Bullock on the night, 14 carries, 62 yards. I will tell you, though, just based on first half, it really surprised that this South Alabama team is sitting at 1-6.
I am too. I mean, the level of efficiency and execution. You hear coaches talk about execution all the time, at an all-time high for this season so far for this team.
Davenport, a part of that impressive start. He's got a guy incomplete, intended for Anthony Eager. Davenport started the game 10 for 10. DeIcy Hopkins on the coverage.
Now, this ball just slightly underthrown. Hawkins never really turns around. DeIcy Hopkins never turns around to locate the football. Bit of a bang-bang play of contact right there. That Bishop Davenport wishes he could have thrown that one just a little earlier.
Only 2 times they failed on third down. The other 2 were conversions on fourth. So 3rd and 7. Can the Panthers get a stop? They do. McCall covering the big play receiver Scott. And this will be the first punt of the night for South Alabama. I feel like we got to bring him out like we're in the quarterbacks have to start the game and introduce you to him.
Well, what a huge defensive stop right here. This team needed this so badly. And Jeremiah Scott, the intended target, has really hurt this Georgia State defense. And now, hopefully, you can get something going if you're Georgia State on offense, and should have pretty good field position to start this next series.
Alexi Polkinen to punt to Javon Robinson. Kind of a scary return there, kind of a scary proposition there. Is Javon Robinson able to fair catch it? And early on, Cameron Brown, second start of the season. Effective in the first quarter of spreading the ball around. They've got to get this guy going again.
Yeah, he's very efficient in the dink and dunk stuff, and then was able to allow the targets to do the rest. It wasn't necessarily big explosives down the field with air yards.
Yeah, Ted Hurst got him 70 yards of yak on that opening touchdown.
Yeah.
4 catches, 105 yards. Jordan Simmons is going to open up in the backfield, goes off the left side, runs hard, gets a few on first down, gain of 4. That was a big stop. So now back-to-back stops for Georgia State. The missed field goal to end the half, and then a 3-and-out there. This offense can score. We know that. They have to get on the board.
Well, you got to capitalize on it right here, and there's nobody in the middle of the field, so there could be a one-on-one opportunity if they want to take a shot here, as those South Alabama defenders creeping up towards the line of scrimmage.
They elect to run it again on 2nd down, and that's a good job bringing it to a 3rd and short, gain of 4. That was Simmons, and now 3rd and 2.
Georgia State seems to have found a little something in the run game.
They're going to elect to huddle up after some substitutions. Just 3 of 7 tonight on 3rd downs. They might want to call a timeout. They look all kinds of confused, but they're going to go with it. Play clock. There you go. Just complete disorganization from the Georgia State offense.
Georgia State, their first.
So important 3rd down, early 3rd quarter. We'll step aside. 3rd and 2, Georgia State. All right, so both head coaches trying to get their team back in the win column. Big 3rd and 2 here for Georgia State. You made a good point during break. You've got to get the possession back after holding South Alabama to a 3-and-out.
Yeah, you've got to get points here and have a sustained drive and gain back the possession that you lost in the first half and try and play some catch up here. Huge critical 3rd down for Georgia State.
And those are the penalties that have got them all year. I got to confer.
Another right guard, DeAndre Duffus, moved. Was one of them that moved.
Delay of game.
Oh, wow.
Defense, number 20, disconcerting signals. The 5-yard penalty results in a first down.
So
that'll do it.
That's why the committee met there at the midfield. As Terrell Johnson induced it with his disconcerting signals. By the way, notice the mic got fixed?
Yeah.
Our boy sounded clear.
That's it. He did.
So that's one way to get the first down. Jordan Simmons back in. First and 10. They're going to keep it on the ground. And that's a good hard run by Simmons. He's come in and run the first couple of carries hard. Getting 7 on first down. That opens up the whole thing. Miller and Hughes bring him down. So now you can make the same comment about the penalties killing you at the inopportune time.
Right.
South Alabama could have had him off the field, and it keeps the drive alive. That's Simmons again. That's a first down again for the Panthers. And a gain of 5. Just the 4th carry of the night for Simmons. Really nothing to speak of from him in the first half. And he's been a little bit of a momentum gainer as the blitz comes. Cameron Brown over the middle. How about that? What a great individual effort by Javon Robinson. Kind of slinked his way through the defense for 7.
Hey, Robinson, first of all, he makes a tough contested catch underneath. He's only 5'8", 155 pounds, and finds a way to shake a tackle and then slip through. Mike Harris, number 8, the safety. He makes him miss.
Yeah, that was all effort. Here's Simmons again, and they're just kind of going body blow, body blow. Harris brings him down after 13, and Simmons kind of a revelation here to start the third quarter.
Yeah, the right side of the offensive line there. There's a run left, but it was the backside sustaining their one-on-one blocks.
Why not?
When you talk about the difference in the little things turning into a big result, we've gone from a South Alabama penalty, all right, on a big 4th down conversion that allowed this drive to continue, and now Georgia State's gaining some steam when South Alabama could have been off the field.
They're making some substitution. Now Simmons, he's averaging 6.5 yards per carry. Quick shot out. That's Robinson again. And bringing up another 3rd and short. So if you're Dell McGee and you're Hugh Jackson, you're loving this. Get 5 or 6 on first, get enough on 2nd, and then make it 3rd and 1.
Well, this is definitely 4-down territory for the Panthers. They want to get back into this thing down 2 scores. Again, they've got to gain back that possession that they lost in the first half by losing volley.
39 rushing yards on this drive. That's a design run for Brown. He's going to cut right up the middle. First down, no problem. So an impressive first drive out of the gate for Georgia State, Luke. It's clear to me they went into the locker room at the half. They said, we're going to establish the run to get back into this game, and so far it's worked.
Yeah, it has worked. That time they utilized Lane Wadle. The tight end is a late insert to lead block for the quarterback to get that extra hat in the QB run game.
7 runs, 2 passes on the drive. They're going to stick to the ground, and that's why. That's Amos. And a gain of 9.
.28, Darius McKenzie, the linebacker, the backside linebacker, is late to get into the hole. He should have stuffed that, and at that point, he couldn't drag down the ball carrier. And that's Rashad Amos, as you mentioned. And, man, look at this line to gain that we continue to see for this Georgia State offense.
Amos falls forward, first down, Panthers. I mean, give credit to Georgia State in that their touchdowns were from big plays. They've completely changed the style of how they're going to move down the field within the matter of a quarter.
Well, they clearly have found something they like, and now you see an awful lot of white jerseys near that box. They got to come up with a way to stop this Georgia State run.
And Del McGee, the former running backs coach at Georgia, loves to see it. They're going to the end zone again, incomplete. It was intended for Hurst. He was out of bounds. You saw the referee, or the official rather, throw his hat down, which means he stepped out of bounds, had to reestablish himself. Nehemiah Chandler on the coverage.
Well, there's that one-on-one matchup that we highlighted in the first half as our impact players. It's a good one-handed catch, but you gotta be able to give your quarterback enough room to keep you in bounds.
So an offensive lineman down for Georgia State. That is Darrell Bailey, their left tackle. And obviously with the way they're running the ball right now, the last thing you want to see is your left tackle, 6'6", 320. Couple of time transfer, USF, ETSU. ETSU, we saw their former head coach last week, head coach at Tulsa. Five first downs on this drive for the Panthers. This will be the 13th play coming.
It's been an impressive drive. You talk about a complete deviation from the explosive plays and how they were moving the ball through the air in the first half. But this was a drive that Georgia State and head coach Del McGee needed to have happen. And again, I go back to that penalty on 4th and 4. Disconcerting signals called on South Alabama. And now Georgia State knocking on the door as a result.
And South Alabama, they haven't had an opponent score on a second half opening drive in the last 3 games. .37 first half rushing yards, 54 on this drive alone. He's finally up. Good sign, able to gather himself. So now 2nd and goal, momentum for the Panthers as we check in with Harry.
Yeah, Matt, it looks like he might be his right eye. He's got it closed right now, so it appears he got hit. He's going to go back here to the bench. I'll keep you guys updated.
Yep. Good stuff, Harry. Thank you. Jeremiah McCrimmon. He's going to step in at left tackle on a drive that's coming up on 6 minutes. This is the 13th play. Amos back in the backfield. Cameron Brown to throw. Looks over the middle, and a good job by the Jags. It's going to be ruled incomplete. Blaine Myrick knocked it loose. And so now the running game's been working 2 plays in a row. Georgia State's thrown it. The drive's kind of hit the brakes.
Take a quick look at it, make sure he doesn't catch this. Nope, not secured. Good call by the officials.
You surprised they went away from the run on the last 2 plays?
I absolutely am. Especially on first down. Excuse me, on
that's right.
second down. They threw the football to Ted Hurst. Yep.
They're going to throw it for 3 times in a row. Brown double checks. That's Amos, and it's incomplete.
Matt, I've got a quick update on Darrell Bailey. He went down to the locker room. I asked somebody on the Georgia State staff if he wears contacts. He does. He's going to go get a new one, and we'll probably see him out here again soon.
There you go. The contacts will get you every time. So puzzling there at the end of that drive for Georgia State. They move all the way down the field running the ball. They throw it 3 consecutive times, 3 incompletes, and now they're going to have to attempt another field goal after a miss tonight from McAllister. Check that. Liam Rickman is on for the field goal. All right, so they get some points out of the drive. 9 runs for 54 yards. So points, yes, for Georgia State, but they stall after moving down the field, only able to get 3.
Eagles have knocked off 7th-ranked Texas Tech.
It's the Dogs surviving and advancing again.
Picked off, it's intercepted! And it's going to end the undefeated season for Miami.
4 top 10 teams go down in a chaotic Week 8. You take a look at the rankings now. Ohio State, they don't play anyone. Indiana against upstart UCLA.
UCLA.
I'm telling you, Texas A&M going to LSU. I know LSU's offense has left a lot to be desired all season. It doesn't look like Whit Weeks is going to play again defensive. Yeah. That's a tough place. That's a hard place to go at night. All right, so South Alabama with the ball 3 and out on their first possession of the second half. Georgia State really didn't punish them that much, as those were our college football rankings brought to you by Prudential.
Well, defense is going to be well rested now, Matt, and you didn't come up with 7. You got a field goal, but you also took a lot of time off the clock if you're Georgia State. So another good defensive stand here is critical. Now, be interesting to see what the approach is for South Alabama.
Do they go back to being aggressive? Do they go back to the ground? Keenan Phillips on the carry there to the right side. The answer is they do go back to the ground, and a good job by Georgia State's defense coming up after a gain of 2. But look, this is the story in the entire first half. We talked about it. Major Applewhite gonna call the ball plays, wants to be more aggressive. You wonder if he'll get back into that approach with midway here through the third quarter.
Well, if you look at the way Georgia State's aligning on defense, you got both of their safeties are about 10 yards off the line of scrimmage. They've really crowded it. They want to stop the run here, and they're willing to play man defense to do it.
Jags were a big play waiting to happen, and there's the play fake. Davenport, everyone was covered, and a good job by the Panthers getting a sack. No gain. That was Kedrick Walker and Bishop Thomas. So now 3rd and 8.
Bishop Thomas does a really good job forcing Bishop Davenport that time, the quarterback, to have to go back inside or another free rusher's coming. Good defense.
Davenport, flag, sacked. Walker there, likely going to be a hold, likely going to be declined.
Foul for holding.
So there is no foul for holding.
It's 4th down.
So just a sack, back-to-back 3 and outs, loss of 8. 4th and 17. How about the Panthers finding a little something defensively?
Yeah, I think they wanted to call this on Malachi Preciado, the center, number 55. And while he gets his arm out, it looks like he's stretching and grabbing the Georgia State defender. He actually isn't. Kobe Owens, Kedrick Walker once again starting to play nicely in a reserve role with Kobe Owens out.
So good coverage. Good coverage by South Alabama there. Our rules analyst, Jerry McGinn's been hanging out patiently tonight. Jerry, no offense, but sometimes when we don't need you, it means it's been a clean game. Did you like them picking up that flag?
I sure did. That was not a hold. It was a good pickup. The man made the tackle. So it was a nice play by the official to pick that up.
Yeah, I can see, Jerry, why they initially would have thrown this, because Preciado reaches his arm out, but he never grabs him. And it looked like a hold initially, and I think center judge right next to the head referee ended up waving it off. Good teamwork there by the officiating crew.
Just 4 total accepted penalties.
The defensive lineman went right through the block.
Yep.
So 4 consecutive passes for Georgia State dating back to the last drive. And Cameron Brown does the wise thing, tucks it and runs. Darius McKenzie chases him out after a gain of 9.
And the run game continues, Matt, just in a different form.
That's right. And Bailey looks like he got his contacts back in because he's back on the field. Georgia State now 100 yards rushing for the game. So that'll be enough for the first down. Branson Robinson, the least successful of the backs we've seen tonight, gets the carry. I'd be stunned if you don't see Simmons or Amos on this drive.
Really, where's Dennis Murray Jr. been as well?
DJ Murray had his first career touchdown tonight out of the backfield. Off comes Robinson.
Yep, and on comes Murray.
Blitz picked up. Brown dumps it out of the backfield. Good job by the Jaguars defense, led by Myrick. He's been all over the field tonight, and that's going to be a loss of 1. So surprising, Lugs, again, that last drive, they were getting 4 or 5 yards a pop with Simmons and Amos, and we haven't seen them yet on this drive.
No, and really, you know, you run the football to get the first down and a fresh set of downs. To your point, you've had great success. Turn around and hand it off again. Let's rely on this offensive line. They've been doing the job, yeoman's work. Lean on them.
They're going to lean on Cam Brown here. He cuts outside. He's capable of doing that. And there you go. Again, designed run for the quarterback as he brings you that element. Wade will key the block, and that's going to be 14 and a first.
Oh, they just got South Alabama outnumbered here by utilizing the quarterback and using the H-back as the extra blocker. South Alabama doesn't have enough numbers in the box to handle that many. Really good play call, and again, another fresh set of downs because of the ground game.
And the longest run of the night for Georgia State. South Alabama is going to trot in some substitutions as they're just taking their time, and the play clock's down to 1.
Timeout. Georgia State, their first.
All right, so that's what I have a problem with this rule in college football. A big problem with it. Because I saw the South Alabama players looking up at the play clock. They knew exactly what they were doing. So we're going to talk about that on the other side of the break, as Georgia State now forced to call one of their timeouts. 3:52 left in the third quarter. All right, so Jerry McGinn, our rules analyst, I think this rule is ridiculous, but you see the substitutions. The defense has to be allowed to sub, but Jerry, your point was Georgia State actually did it slow.
Georgia State, the offensive team, they have to have their process done at least by 20 seconds. They didn't finish up till it was like 10 seconds, so they'll never get it off. They'll never get it off. They need to be done. They need to be quicker and more organized.
And in South Alabama, to their credit, they knew that. They took their time. It's almost legitimately a game of chess, and they won.
When South Alabama saw how slowly Georgia State was substituting, they waited until Georgia State got lined up, then ran 2 guys onto the field and really used Georgia State's lack of urgency against them and forced them to call a timeout.
Again, no Jordan Simmons on this drive or Amos. They keep sticking with Branson Robinson at the running back position, and he dances his way. Does a good job there. It's going to bring up a 3rd and medium. But big picture, that rule, it's just when your offense comes in and subs, the defense, they are going to take their time.
Sure.
They're going to take the time. They are going to run down the play clock, and it's getting to force a timeout or delay a game. I know why they made the adjustments to the rule to allow the defensive players to substitute. So these tempo teams, as Wesley Miller's down for the Jags, I know why it's in place, but now you almost have to go back to the rules committee and figure it out again.
Yeah, to try to figure out how it is that if, to Jerry McGinn's point, if the offense is substituting in a reasonable manner with some urgency, which they were not for Georgia State that time.
That's
but
right.
If they are normally, how do you not allow the defense to take advantage of the substitution rule and force the offense to take a timeout?
I'll give you an example of something that used to favor the defense that they changed with the feigning injuries.
Sure.
When there was a team with tempo just working them up and down the field, and you'd have a guy come up with a mystery cramp after pointing to the sidelines.
But if that ball's spotted now.
Right. There's a way to figure it out because I just don't like the rule.
Yeah.
It almost one-sides it, and I get it. Georgia State slow. Credit South Alabama for doing what they should, but there has to be a way to kind of make that even out. So now 3rd and 4, 4-down territory for Georgia State. I can't imagine they would try to attempt a field goal based on what we've seen out of the kickers tonight.
No.
Amos is in now. Just kind of a bowling ball up the middle. Myrick, boys, he had a good game, and it's going to bring up a 4th and 2.
Boy, this is a long 2. See what the plan of attack is here for Georgia State. They've had success running the quarterback by adding an extra blocker with the H-back or the offset back and outnumbering a light South Alabama box to run the ball. Look at him under center here.
Brown. Toss on 4th. What a play call. Grant Hollier, the true freshman out of Woodstock, Georgia, gets 13. Chris Wallace on the coverage, but you're right. They get under center, and they roll the quarterback out. He had run option or pass option run, and he chose to throw it. That's Nehemiah Chandler down for the Jags.
Now, South Alabama can't afford to have him go down, the best secondary and cover player in their back end. But you're right on that 4th down conversion. We talked about that on the previous 4th down conversion the Georgia State had about moving the quarterback, get him out of the perimeter.
Harry, what do you have?
Guys, you could see the right calf here tightening up. This one looks like a cramp.
So Nehemiah Chandler, one of the best players on this defense, again, came into the game 10th nationally in pass breakups. He's down on the ground. Really, if you're breaking down the 3rd quarter, points-wise and execution-wise, it's been Georgia State.
Absolutely.
Yet South Alabama still has an 11-point lead.
Well, and you feel like South Alabama's barely had the football. And again, not scoring a touchdown, having to settle for 3 last time around. And now you're knocking on the door again. You have got to come away with a touchdown here if you're Georgia State.
I mean, if you're close now, Lugs, a field goal works to make it 28-20 in a one-score game.
It does. Yeah.
You need points.
You need points. And your team needs the momentum of a touchdown.
Yeah.
The energy of a touchdown.
Plays this half. 6 for South Alabama, 22 for Georgia State. Fourth down conversion successful. Both teams 2 for 2. And a 1st and 10 now for the Panthers. Simmons is back in the backfield. They go outside to Simmons, thrown behind him. Good job to corral it. And a good job by Jags defense led by McKenzie. And a gain of 4. Fake toss. Back at him. Simmons again. And he's a load.
He is.
5'10", $195. Stature-wise, it doesn't read that. Effort-wise, it does. It's going to bring up 3rd and 3.
A really nice job by quarterback Cameron Brown here, because he wanted to take a shot in the end zone, and it just wasn't there. So instead of forcing it, understanding where you are on the field, simply comes back down to the check down, and now you're in 3rd and short.
Simmons. And they're going to be 1st and goal. And I'll restate it what I said in the last drive.
Run it.
Run the ball with Simmons, and you'll give yourself a good opportunity. Now they've got goal to go. They've given Simmons the ball the 3 times he's been in the game.
If you're Del McGee, you're on the headset to your offensive coordinator, Hugh Jackson. You're saying, let's run it or let's quarterback run it.
There's the quarterback run. Good read by Myrick.
If they're going to go ahead. If they're going to run quarterback, though, I think they've got to run quarterback inside with a lead blocker and outnumber South Alabama. The perimeter runs haven't been where it's been successful. It's been downhill. And now, at the end of the 3rd quarter, does Georgia State have the juice to come back and win this football game?
Welcome back to Atlanta, where South Alabama leads Georgia State 28-17. Coach, you guys are moving the ball here. Your guys talked about all week finishing off in the fourth quarter. How do you guys do that here?
Yeah, we got an opportunity to do that right now. Defense came out with 2 third-down stops this half. We got to punch the ball in the end zone right here. Then we'll have to go for 2 and then stop them again. Right now, I like where our team is at. We guys got to finish the drill right here.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
And Harry hit on it. It's been the fourth quarter that's been the bugaboo of Georgia State. Can they start the fourth quarter with a touchdown? Amos in the backfield, 2nd and goal. Cam Brown to throw, one-on-one coverage up top. Caught! Touchdown, Panthers! Second one of the night for Hurst, and you know what's coming. They're going to go for 2.
Absolutely. You heard Coach Del McGee say it right there. And one of the interesting things about this throw and this catch to Ted Hurst, look who's not covering him. It's Nehemiah Chandler, who should be matched up there, is on the sideline with an injury. He's 6'2". Javon Henderson is 5'10". 6'3" Hurst matched up. That is a mismatch, one-on-one, no over-the-top help. Great throw.
Hurst, what a story. Transferred in from Valdosta State. Comes up a level, had multiple offers to go up even another level. He wanted to stay here. 2-point conversion, making his presence felt tonight. Brown is going to go down. All right, so the thinking there, so if they'd have kicked the extra point, it's 28-24, they still need a touchdown. They don't get the 2-point conversion, 28-23, they still need the touchdown.
Yep.
Back-to-back 6-minute scoring drives for the Panthers. And Hurst has had a great game tonight. Luke's 5 catches, 110 yards, and 2 touchdowns.
I love where he puts this football. And Hurst high points it, strong hands, secures the ball, ensures his feet are in bounds. And really credit South Alabama defensively. Tyler Thomas, 97. R.J. Moss, 18, along the defensive front, creating that pressure on the 2-point conversion attempt. But we've got a ball game to start the fourth quarter here. In South Alabama, Matt, who's only had 6 offensive plays in the second half, they got to start sustaining a drive.
So Georgia State now 1 of 6 on the season, 2-point conversions. But yeah, fourth quarter we got a ball game. It was a 14-point game. At one point, South Alabama got the ball first, 3 and out. Georgia State gets a field goal and then another 3 out for the Jaguars. And so here comes the home team. Again, both of these teams trying to do what they can to not be eliminated from bowl contention. 1-6, 1-6. Micah Woods deep to receive. UFC 321, Saturday night in Abu Dhabi, highlighted by 2 title fights. Heavyweight and the women's strawweight belts are on the line. Prelims begin 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific. Main card at 2 Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific. Pay-per-view. Buy it at ESPNplus.com/PPV. You're not going to show me a golf course in Abu Dhabi and expect me not to talk about golf.
Man.
What did I do? Golf season up in the Northeast coming to an end. South Alabama, no first downs this half. Can the Panthers make another defensive hold? Davenport overthrows Voisin. First half, Davenport, again, he started the game 10 of 10. Just kind of a work of art going to the first half. Struggled now here in the second.
Yeah, the ball, if he hits this on target in stride, Voisin's got a chance to turn the corner and get down the sideline. He just has been off just a little bit here in the second half, and he was so on point in the first 2 quarters.
3 straight incompletions after starting the game, 15 of 17, and there's a good gain there to make it a 3rd and medium. That's Walker, Bullock on the carry, and now 3rd and 5. Walker's had a busy night with Kobe Owens out, a career-high 8 tackles for Walker. Certainly has done his part in place of Owens. Blitz. Time. Davenport keeps it. And he's going to be short. Marlon Dean forces him out. And that is a third consecutive punt for USA. What a turn of events here in Atlanta.
Well, credit Del McGee, his coaching staff, coming out of the locker room, clearly lit a fire underneath their kids, because these kids have come out and they have executed defensively in a manner we did not see in the first half. And right now, Major Applewhite's trying to come up with some answers as to why they've all of a sudden gone from on fire to struggling to gain 5 yards.
Polkinen in the first half could have been playing Wordle, and now he's just busy the whole second half. Is Javon Robinson. He's going to fight his way for a gain of 7 after a punt of 40. So we have a comeback brewing in the Sun Belt on a Thursday. 28-23, Georgia State with the ball. Ted Hurst, 5 receptions, 110 yards, 2 touchdowns. He's why Georgia State's in this. He's synced up well with Cam Brown tonight.
He has, and he's done it in all 3 phases of the passing game. Short, intermediate. Did you see right there on the deep in cut? He's gotten vertical, and then he goes up and attacks this football in the end zone on the last drive for a touchdown. He is just so talented. Great body control, top end speed, and he's big.
Brown going to take a shot. That was for Hurst. It looks like the DB grabbed one of his back arms. That was Nehemiah Chandler back on the field. Hey, Harry, what have you seen down there at Georgia State's side?
The energy is greater than it has been at any point during this football game, Matt. And it goes back to that belief. This team is finally seeing that they could put it together in the fourth quarter. That's something that Cam Brown and Josiah Robinson, 2 of the leaders of this team, said they needed to see. And we're seeing the results of that right now.
I think a missed pass interference call on Nehemiah Chandler on that one.
He grabbed Ted Hurst's arm.
So second down, it's Simmons. Simmons cuts back. I have an idea. Give it to Simmons. What a block by Williams for a gain of 14. I would not take number 9 off the field for the rest of the game.
If he can go, keep feeding him.
I mean, in the second half, this guy's averaging 7 yards a pop. Georgia State 100+ rushing yards this half alone. And what do you know? Simmons. And look what he did to that sideline. He lowered his shoulder for a gain of 15, and the entire sideline went jumping up and down.
Ty Goodwill, the safety, took the brunt of that lower shoulder of Jordan Simmons. And right now, this South Alabama defense has been on the field for a long time.
Simmons again. And the sideline is eating up what the offensive line is doing in a gain for 4. Again, Simmons did nothing in the first half.
No.
Absolutely nothing. He's got 10 rushes for 75 yards now.
Well, and really the Georgia State run game showed no level of consistency. And now they are leaning on South Alabama, who has got to be tired. They're dragging a little bit. And like I said, been on the field a lot.
Simmons again. Look, there's nothing thrilling about it. It's north-south, but it's power, and it's 3 more yards.
And Georgia State's being really smart. They have limited their substitutions. Now, they're going to sub now, but they limited their substitutions so that you'd have to keep the same personnel grouping on defense for South Alabama. And as you see, South Alabama finally getting to rotate 3 defensive linemen and get some fresh legs in the game.
Amos now on the field for the Panthers. Simmons off for a breather. 3rd and 3. Brown sidesteps the defenders. How about Brown? Felt the pressure on his right side, slicked off to the left for a gain of 9, and that's a first down, Panthers.
Really good job and discipline of keeping 2 hands on the ball when you got a defender swiping at it. And the front door just opens up and he takes it. It's a smart, heady play.
And that was Hughes on the rush. This drive started with a deep incompletion, and then it's been all runs from there. Here's another. Brown gets to the sideline. And an offensive lineman is down for Georgia State.
And I think that was a broken play, to be honest with you. That's supposed to be outside zone stretch.
Officials timeout.
Cameron Brown didn't get the ball there, but does the smart thing and uses his legs.
So that's Donovan Funch. The left guard is down. They've called the officials timeout so they can take a look at him. So they're going to look at Funch. We'll step aside.
ESPN Thursday Night College Football is presented by Liberty Mutual Insurance. Only pay for what you need.
We are back, and what a fourth quarter it's been here in Atlanta. Georgia State down 28-14 at the half, and they have just pushed and fought their way back into this game. Broken play leads to a first down, can still get a first down with goal to go. What a ground game they've had in the second half. 23 carries for 146 yards.
DJ Murray now in the game, 23, giving Simmons a little bit of a break here.
Murray up the gut. That closed quick as it opened quick. Terrell Johnson saves the touchdown and a gain of 5.
Yeah, but Terrell Johnson is late to crash down and fill that gap that creates the cutback lane. Very fortunate to make that tackle, and a lot of that is because they're worried about the bootleg action from an athletic quarterback.
And there's a false start out of Georgia State. Really the first time this half we've seen them.
False start. Offense, number 58. Yard penalty, second down.
Commit one of those penalties they talk about that kills the momentum of a drive, and that'll back them up and make it 2nd and 10. Again, they can still get a first down. Lugs, you fight so hard to get back into the game. This is when you need discipline the most.
Absolutely. You've got to be able to execute at your highest level right here. Fourth quarter, everybody's tired. You've done so much to get back into this game. Don't blow an opportunity here.
They trailed by 14 with 8 minutes left in the third quarter. They're on the doorstep of taking the lead. Cam Brown to the end zone. Touchdown. The true freshman Grant Hollier. And Georgia State has come all the way back to take the lead.
Grant Hollier, this is a nice seam route from Cameron Brown, but the young freshman goes up, not only gets 1 down, gets 2 down. Great focus, concentration, high points of football. And what a spectacular play as Georgia State takes the lead.
Tom Luganbill, that was good on Sunday.
Absolutely it was.
What a play by the youngster. What a comeback by the quarterback. And Georgia State, what did they talk about with us all week? You have to play the fourth quarter, and they've done that as they're going to go for 2 points to try to make it a field goal lead here in the fourth quarter.
Ted Hurst again. Wow.
And it's good. DJ Murray Jr. and 17 straight points. Wow.
Unbelievable.
I mean, we knew this Sun Belt was going to bring it on their Thursday night debut, and boy, have they.
Yeah, fantastic execution. You're going to see 85 right here, and he's just going to work the seam, but he does a really nice job of having enough awareness where he knows that ball's got to be completed within a 2 to 3 yard area of the back end line, and has the wherewithal not only to go up and snag it, as we look at the 2-point conversion here too with DJ Murray, who just shakes off a would-be tackler. And what a change of fortune in this second half. This is not the Georgia State team that went into the locker room at the end of the second quarter.
South Alabama scored 28 points in the first 22 minutes of this game, and they've been stuck on it since. They do not have a first down in the second half.
Well, and you can feel it. You feel the sideline. You look down just from our vantage point. There's a hop in the step. Guys are moving around. Everybody's standing except for the guys who are just on the offensive line. You know what? They deserve to sit with the second half they've had.
Yeah, and look, we were noting it when they were running the ball. The sideline, Harry reported it. Jordan Simmons was lighting up the sideline. And now the home team has come all the way back. 31-28 is our Saturday SEC on ABC College Football triple header. It's another good one. Well, we're getting it started at noon, huh? We're not messing around.
No.
Ole Miss at Oklahoma. Are we getting early season John Mateer? Can Ole Miss battle back after the Georgia loss? Then you got Alabama struggling, South Carolina, and then Texas A&M at Death Valley for the nightcap.
Not many better atmospheres than Death Valley at night in a ranked matchup.
You don't want to be number 3 having to go to LSU, a team that hasn't hit its stride at all this season. So the South Alabama offense is back on. Again, they don't have a first down this half, Lugs. That's Keenan Phillips on the carry.
I like Major Applewhite's willingness to stick with the run. You get 5 yards of pop right there. He knows that they ran the football really effectively at the end of the second quarter and put themselves in a position to come out of the locker room getting the ball first, but they haven't been able to convert the third down.
Just 7 yards this half for the Jags. Davenport taking a shot, has Scott, caught. The jersey tug not called. Tyson McCrary, the true freshman, was up against him at a gain of 39.
Well, he was grabbing him. There was some tussling, some pulling of the jersey. But Jeremy Scott has earned his keep tonight. Redshirt freshman, 6'3", 208-pounder. Has done everything that's been asked of him. He's been yards after the catch. He's gone up and got it in contested matchups. And that's the play that South Alabama needed, Matt.
3 catches, 121 yards for Scott. Finally a first down for USA in the second half, back to the ground. What they needed that play. They'd been completely stymied on offense as Bishop Thomas brings him down and a gain of 4.
Well, it was just in such a rut, and they were having success on first and second down. They'd be in 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5, 3rd and 3. Couldn't convert. What a big play downfield they needed.
Plenty of time in this game, a whole half quarter to play. Another run up the middle by Phillips as we check in with Harry.
Matt, you're talking about South Alabama needing that play. You could almost feel the sigh of relief on this side of the football field.
I believe it.
Yeah.
I mean, this offense was doing whatever they wanted in the first half.
Well, again, get some rah-rah, get some energy, get some claps on the sideline. If you're wearing a white jersey, it has been nothing but dead on that sideline because you've just been in such a rut. No question.
17 unanswered points. Now they're playing comeback. 3rd and short. Phillips gets it. Phillips gets more than needed. Tyler Scott brings him down in a gain of 13. And just like that, USA's offense wakes up.
Georgia State getting a dose of their own medicine in the run game. Credit both of these offensive lines have come out here, particularly this drive for South Alabama, but for the entire second half for Georgia State. The line of scrimmage is going to determine the outcome of this game.
You see Travis Pearson there, the defensive coordinator, did not like that they were able to break up the middle untouched. It's going to be another run on first down. That's more like it to Pearson. Marlon Dean there. You know, you're seeing the fight out of 2 teams that need a win.
Yep.
That desperately need a win to save their season, that desperately need a win to continue to try to get back into bowl eligibility. But moreover, they feel like they've played good enough football. They just haven't been able to get back in the win column.
And you can't take your foot off the throat of the opponent. These teams have talked about finishing. Harry's brought it up multiple times tonight. These teams know they're more talented than their record, but they haven't been able to put it together.
And that can wear on you as a flag down at the snap. That was Phillips, brought down by Jartavius Flooney. Check that Flournoy. So penalty on South Al.
Illegal formation. Offense. Penalty is declined. It's 3rd down.
So interesting decision to decline the penalty. So they're going to ignore the 5 yards to get the down played to make it 3rd down rather than back them up goal to go.
Give them some extra yards.
Thoughts? It made it second and goal.
It still would have been
10.
2nd and goal from the 10.
Yeah.
Correct. You're just giving an extra down.
Davenport End zone. Incomplete. Intended for Voice, and that was D-Icy Hopkins, and now 4th down, and now here comes the field goal unit to tie it.
Well, that was a tight window for Bishop Davenport. Trying to hit Voisin on the corner route. Got to come up with points here, especially since you stalled out the entire 3rd quarter. Finally got some momentum with this drive if you're South Alabama. Get some points on the board here.
Davis Little, first game back, has been dealing with a back. This for 23 yards to tie it. And we're tied at 31. To peel back the curtain a little bit here at our production meeting this morning, we all said, we have a feeling we're going to be entertained. We were right. 31-all late 4th quarter.
Introducing Sports Center for you, personalized every single day. Now available on the ESPN app. Powered by your favorites.
Speaking of Sports Center for you, we had a Sports Center for us here on campus today. Our thanks to everyone at Georgia State for everything they did for us. What a show we had out there this afternoon. Yeah. And you know what? It's actually perfect that the game is tied at 31 apiece. Matt Berry, Tom Lugan, Harry Lyers, Jerry McGinn. Because the energy we had there on campus and then the game that's lived up to it, this has been fun. 31-all here, 5.5 left to play. Kyle Washington, he's going to be able to return this kick from his 8, gets past the 20, and then gets walloped. Parker Shattuck. I just mentioned the fun today, Sports Center on campus. They brought out the band. The food was amazing. Harry Lyles, proud Georgia State alum, came out. We had the shrimp and grits, Luke. So look at Harry to end it. straight up
bonus
waffles and chicken.
Harry Lyle. That's how we
Look
do
at
it.
this guy. What a legend. and a beignet wiped down to the syrup for good measure.
Oh.
That's what Harry's eating when he's not taking creatine.
That's right.
Tie ball game now. What a game we've had. Amos in the backfield and a big pop by the Jaguars defense. That was Thomas and Myrick, and a gain of 2. Harry, how's the stomach after today? You also did a hot wings contest.
Yeah, it's not bad. Definitely got to get some cardio in. I'm actually behind on my creatine intake, Matt. And while I have you, 52 Donovan Funch, he's still not out there for that Georgia State offense, by the way. He was testing out that right knee, so something to look out for on this drive.
That's the left guard, Harry. Thank you.
What do you need cardio for? Just walk around the field 10 times.
Got to stay trim, man. Come on now.
Yeah, I mean, get your steps.
Oh, he's getting them tonight. Cameron Brown, the play fake. Back to the sidelines, wide open. That's Waddle. Good quarterbacking right there. He let everybody clear, and then 88 was there wide open.
Yeah, tight end leak from Waddle, 88. Just a slight delay, and then crosses underneath. Well-designed play and a fresh set of downs.
Again, talking to the coaching staffs, both of them throughout the week, every one of them said, I just want my team to let them know that the hard work is paying off. Ball is out! South Alabama has it. Javon Henderson, touchdown. There are 2 flags down on the play.
The ruling on the field is a fumble covered by the defense. During return, personal foul, illegal blindside block. Return team number 18. 15-yard penalty. It's first down.
So for now, so there's an injured player. The touchdown's going to be negated, but they have to take a look at it. And I think first glance, Terrell Johnson knocks it out. I think first glance, Luke, it looks like that ball is out.
Oh, absolutely. I think the ball is out. Now you got to come back. You see 18. They're going to call that the crackback block right there. Right behind the return man in Henderson. And it does look like that ball is out and loose as Amos rolls over the South Alabama defender.
That is the first turnover of the game. So Delbert Bell is our replay official. This is also our first replay of the night. The penalty negates a 40-yard touchdown return. The only body part in question would be that left knee. And it gets covered up. You see what I'm looking at, Luke?
And that ball is loose. And there, I don't see indisputable video evidence right there to overturn the call on the field unless we can get a good look at it.
Let's bring in our rules analyst, Jerry McGinn. Jerry, what are you seeing?
I'd say this is very close.
It
the
is.
First look, it appears that his left shin may be down prior to the ball being fumbled. And then if it's not a fumble, the 15-yard penalty would still be enforced.
The question, Jerry, is it indisputable enough to say that any part of his left leg was down?
You see what it could be his left shin, as you mentioned, and then the ball's coming out, but you don't see on that angle whether or not the ball was loose prior to that left outside of the calf going down to the ground.
But this look right here, we have him still holding the ball, and his shin is I believe his shin is down. I think the ball, it won't be a fumble. It'll be Georgia State's ball, and the 15-yard penalty to be added on.
What a huge moment in this game. Now, for starters, the Scoopwood score has already been negated by a penalty. So regardless, we're staying tied at 30 whether the ball goes to South Alabama or returns to Georgia State.
Jerry, do you think the replay booth will be convinced of indisputable video evidence there with the angles they have?
That's a great question for any replay booth, whether they have it or not. But I think they can piece it together. Looking at the back of it, they see the shin coming down, and then the ball from the front, he still has it. So I think it's a good look.
This is going to be, again, I mean, the officials are looking up at the replay board here in the stadium. I'm not sure that's going to help them from that distance.
That's a long way away.
So I guess they're seeing what our replay official and our Sunbelt officials are looking at.
I mean, this is a huge determination, Matt. To Jerry's point, if this gets overturned and they determine him to be down, it's still going to have the 15-yard penalty added on.
All right, so you see it's called DV Sport, which is the type of
After video review, the ruling on the field is upheld. First down, Alabama.
So it is upheld that it's a fumble. Perhaps well, not perhaps. We know that the evidence was not indisputable. Now, the big thing there is the penalty wipes the touchdown off the board, but here the Jags have a first down and good field position after the first turnover of the night.
Great field position and coming off of a really impressive drive that resulted in points. Now they've got an opportunity to punch this thing home, utilize some clock.
You wonder how aggressive Major Applewhite will be here. They've run the ball with some success. Georgia State only the one timeout in a tie ball game here late fourth quarter. Right now it's Bullock right up the middle on the ground, and he fights his way for a gain of 7.
Yeah, I think you hit on something there, Matt, when you consider the amount of timeouts left for Georgia State. Remember, they had to burn 2 early in the third quarter. Major Applewhite's well aware of this. He's going to force them to have to use that timeout.
I know, Luke, you're not going to be used to seeing this since we've had East Carolina 3 weeks in a row. But there is an offense who can slow it down, eat some clock, get themselves in a position with Georgia State only having 1 timeout. They get the 2-minute timeout as well, so technically they'll have 2 clock stoppages in their favor.
There's still 20 seconds left.
But a first down for South Alabama. You'll see the field goal line on the 31. That would make it a 48-yard field goal if needed, as Hopkins and Walker bring down Bullock.
If you're as successful as they've been running the football so far on this drive, you don't want to snap the ball with anything more than 10 seconds left.
They've been snapping it with 20 a bit quick. Luke's, to your point. It's Bullock again, fighting through tacklers. How about that? The second effort for Bullock. Broke the tackle of Flournoy and Lewis the second in a gain of 5, and that's going to bring up a 3rd and 3. And they're not going to have to snap it if they don't want before the 2-minute timeout.
Let this clock run down and take your time here.
And so they'll let it go to the 2.
2-minute timeout.
What a game we have here in Atlanta. Question is, does it end in regulation, or are we playing extra innings? Find out with us. 2-minute timeout, tied at 31 in the Sun Belt. All right, 2-minute timeout, tied at 31 apiece between South Alabama and Georgia State. Panthers just one timeout left, so Lugs, if the Jags get this first down, Georgia State's almost certainly going to have to use the timeout, and then they're in cruise control with the clock on their side.
Exactly right.
First things first, though, 3rd and 3, right up the middle. First down, Jags and more. Kentrell Bullock. That'll put him over 100 yards on the night. Jalen Jones forces him out. If you're Georgia State now, you got to let him score.
Yeah, but listen, that would be twice in 3 weeks that we have broadcasted a game where that scenario has presented itself. Georgia State still has yet to use that last time out, and that's what Major Applewhite's counting on.
So here's the scenario. You let them score, you get the ball back with a minute and a half left and one timeout. Or, okay, so there's the touchdown. So that was the right play by Georgia State.
It's too bad South Alabama there wasn't capable of sensing it and getting down on the ground.
Pre-snap, you
right?
Getting ready to say either they let them score or South Alabama just bangs the knee.
Yeah, they sense it. They get down on the ground. You force Georgia State to use that last time out, and now you're really in control.
Because this game has been out of control in that there's been so many swings. We know Georgia State has the offense, but Lugs, look at the clock now. Minute 49 and a timeout. That's an eternity for this offense. Play clock down at 3, 2, 1. And they're going to take a delay of game.
Delay of game.
Major Applewhite's going to come unglued.
5-yard penalty. Replay the try.
Why wouldn't anybody?
With the operation of the special teams running a guy on late, which causes the delay of game.
So bang the timeout if it's getting
close.
I
mean, you've got three
of them. Davis Little on for the extra point. It's good. So again, heady move by Georgia State. At some point, a team's going to realize they're going to let them score, and they're going to take knees.
They're going to move forward and fall down. Slowly move forward, fall down, and inch your way there.
Kill the clock.
Yeah.
Because again, a field goal wins this. If your goal to go with the opposing team having one timeout, you get in the middle of the field and you fall at the goal line, and the clock keeps going, you can effectively end the game.
Well, and what saved Georgia State right there is they didn't have to burn that last timeout. That's what's keeping them alive.
So we opened this game talking about the quarterbacks and their #1 receivers, and Cam Brown has to be looking at the Ted Hurst, #1. Is he going to go to his star receiver and force overtime? Kyle Washington get a fair catch at the 25. So we're going to set the scene for you here. One timeout, Georgia State, ball at the 25. Minute 49 left, plenty of time, down a touchdown. Let's go down to Harry.
Major Applewhite just told his defense, hey, communicate with each other and go win the football game. Simple message from the coach.
Remember how many times in the first quarter we had 70-plus yard touchdown runs, plays rather, that happened in a blink.
Keep the ball in front of you if you are South Alabama.
Brown. He's got a guy. Downfield, there's going to be a PI. Derek Avery Jr., the true freshman, got behind Henderson.
Pass interference. Defense, #2. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
Just as I said it. You cannot allow that to happen.
He had it beat by 5 yards.
My goodness.
If that ball's thrown on time, it's 6.
Yes. It's a good penalty. It's a good penalty right there, but man, keep the ball in front of you. Make them earn it. Make Georgia State be methodical and detailed and execute at a high level.
Yeah, it's either a touchdown or a 15-yard penalty, and still there's 1:42 left on the clock. That one timeout still remaining for Georgia State. Cam Brown has time, has Hurst. Incomplete. Nehemiah Chandler. And Hurst is down. He's off the field, situated about the 20-yard line, had his man beat. And that is not the time you need your all-conference player injured. The clock stopped immediately. Kind of fell awkwardly on his back as he got behind the defender again, Lubes.
He did. He just didn't give himself enough room when you see him smack the ground there.
So Brown going to have to do it without his guy. Incomplete.
It's like Hurst is coming back in now.
Perhaps maybe a non-call there, too. A lot of contacts pre-throw on that Hurst.
Big 3rd and 10 right here.
Hurst back in. Brown, pressured, gets out of it. Keeps the play alive, can't get out of bounds as the clock is running. They need to stay composed or take a timeout.
Yeah.
One of the two, Lugs.
This is 4th down. I think you got to take a timeout so that you can get yourself dialed in and know exactly what you want.
They're
yeah,
gonna do it. Yeah,
that's smart.
So 4th and 5.
You'd love to be able to keep that one in your back pocket, but this is 4th down. This is the game. Get it right here.
So 2 times on this drive, Georgia State players had South Alabama's defense beat deep. First one, PI was called, and then Hurst, the star receiver, had the defense beat. Incomplete, no flag, no pass completion.
Right.
And they've dodged 2 bullets already on this possession. Here's a look at the first one.
Now this was on the deep post attempt. Von Henderson trailing, which to your point earlier, if that's thrown on time and laid out there, it's a touchdown.
And then here's Hurst, has his man beat.
Well, that's close to bang, bang in real time.
Need 55 yards in 69 seconds. But you got to get the 5 here first. That's all that matters. No timeouts remaining. Ball game on the line.
There's Hurst in the slot lined up.
Pass rush. Intercepted. And South Alabama is going to get their 2nd win of the season. Terrell Johnson comes up with it.
Officials timeout.
Tyler Thomas, the pass rush on this final possession, got to Brown. He had to do something to get rid of it to try to force a play.
Right, and Johnson there was the designated spy just to make sure that Cameron Brown didn't take off and get that line to gain with his feet and ends up with a gift.
There's an injured player down for Georgia State. That's number 58, Darrell Bailey Jr. And now it's going to be South Alabama taking a knee. What a second half we had here for Georgia State to come back 17 unanswered points to take the lead. South Alabama marched right back down the field. What a game.
All of a sudden, that alarm clock went off on South Alabama as we started the 4th quarter.
Davenport, he started the game 10 for 10, finished 16 of 22 for 280 yards and 2 touchdowns and a touchdown run. Bolick big in the second half, 22 carries, 119 yards and 2 touchdowns. And it was Scott, the big play receiver, 3 carries, 121 yards and a touchdown. 2 turnovers in the second half for the South Alabama defense.
Yeah, and here's the call that was upheld. It was called a fumble on the field, which means you got to have indisputable video evidence to overturn it. The officiating crew didn't feel like they had that up in the room. And, you know, listen, I think you've got to give a lot of credit to both of these teams for how they played. I mean, this was a hard-fought, tough football game where you knew you were going to give up some points. You knew there were going to be some big explosive plays, and who was going to be the last man standing. And if you're Major Applewhite, you got everything out of your football team that you were desiring. I mean, coming off of last week, you were heavily penalized. You didn't have explosive plays on offense. Couldn't sustain drives. Really turned it around here on the road versus Georgia State.
And for Georgia State, Cam Brown, they came to play as well. And the mantra for them, they just said, we have to play 4 quarters. They did that.
Absolutely.
They came up short.
And listen, this team has not finished games, has not put themselves in a position to win the game late in the 4th quarter, and they did tonight. And that man right there, Del McGee, who I know is hurting right now, and he's got to find a way to keep this team and their chins up for some brighter days ahead.
So for Georgia State, they will not be headed to a bowl game this year for their 7th loss. For Major Applewhite and South Alabama, there's a little bit of light at the end of this tunnel. It's their first win against Georgia State since 2016. What a finish, what a game, down to Harry.
Coach, roller coaster of a game there. What are the emotions coming out of this one?
Just grateful. You know, honestly, it's been a rough ride for us this year with, you know, a lot of lost players, but these guys have fought hard and been in every game, and we just needed to support each other through this hard time. I don't want to make this the end-all be-all, but, you know, just God's been with us. He's given us patience. He's given us strength through this season. He's put people in our lives. There's been a lot of people from my hometown in Mobile just call, text, support, and that's really what we've been trying to fight through as a team. I'm just happy that these guys get a chance to, you know, taste a win and see what it feels like.
I can see the emotion in your eyes. First conference win in 334 days. How do you take this win and push it forward and finish off the season strong?
Well, just, you know, we got to get ready for a great Lafayette team in 9 days. I feel starving, you know, just starving for a win. And these guys have worked hard. We're not getting blown out. We're losing by 2 and 3 and 1 and a field goal and 16 to Auburn. This is a damn good team for guys that lost 10 starters in the portal. So I'm proud of the way they fight, and I'm really just very blessed and appreciated by the support I've had.
Thank you, Coach. Go enjoy this one.
Thank you.
Matt?
You can just see it in his face, Harry. What a comeback, what a win. 38-31 for South Alabama. They get the victory. For Harry Lyles down to the sideline, Tom Luganville up here in the booth, I'm Matt Berry. What a start to Week 9 of the college football season. SportsCenter coming up next with Michael Leaves and Phil Murphy.